Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. Here are these illegals, Joe Biden's illegals. This is so vile and disgusting and reprehensible. This is who he's brought into this country to beat our cops, to rob us, to drag our women who are 62 years of age by their purse until their front legs, their shins are pulled while their whole body's being pulled while they're holding onto their purse, and their shins slamming into a what is it called? You put the for your parking meter, slammed into a parking meter. Can you imagine being a 62-year-old woman walking along and one of Joe's illegals on a stolen moped in a gang drives by from behind you, grabs, has a second person on the back that grabs you, your purse, and drags you. Whether you could even release your arm or not, I don't even know. It's a shocking thing you're not expecting. They come from behind, and then you're being dragged at about 10, 15 miles an hour, and then you literally slam like a rag doll with your shins slamming right into that. It's just, if you see that video, it's just disgusting. Now, here's these illegals doing a perp walk, and you can hear the attitude, the punkery, and the vulgarity, and the crime, and the ungratefulness. This is who Joe Biden has brought, and they're having a good time. They're gonna beat the hell out of so many more of our cops and you and me and steal from us. You won't even know what's happening to you. One group of one little gaggle of illegals robbed 62 women and men. Did you know? One gaggle, it's a handful, like 6 of them, robbed 62, maybe even been 3, responsible for 62 grand larceny and theft. So this is exactly what we talked about with our former head of border operations, counterterrorism, counterintelligence for Texas DPS before he retired, Captain Jason Jones, and now he's a Newsmax border correspondent. He said, you ain't seen nothing yet. But here it is. Here's them walking out.
Mañana aparezco por las redes sociales haciéndome viral en la calle de New York. Qué rico.
Is that how you respect the country?
What?
Is that how you respect this country?
I don't speak English.
Is that how you respect this country?
I don't speak English. No le pare hola, eso no es nada.
Is that how you respect the country?
Hey, one of the illegals just kissed the camera. See that? Hold on. You hear it, right? You heard that?
I don't speak English.
They're so cocky. They can't wait to get your daughter. Oh, they're so cocky. They're full of themselves while they rob, steal. And then you get the right girl that's attracted to a bad guy from a good family. Watch out. He's looking for your daughters. Now they're flipping them off.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, so there's Joe's illegals, and they don't care. I mean, you would think, here's how bad it is. The average person doesn't want you to be seen taking pictures of them. It doesn't want to be at the center of this and embarrassed. These guys love it. These are exceptionally wicked individuals who only know strength and incarceration and brutality. That's just where they come from, and Joe Biden has brought in thousands and thousands and thousands of them. You know, and so is Alejandro Mayorkas, while lying to us and telling us the border is secure. He survived an impeachment vote. I don't know how you feel about that. I don't know if you really wish he was impeached or if you think it was a farce to begin with. I want to ask you this. If you were voting tonight on this impeachment vote, would you have voted to impeach Alejandro Mayorkas? And do you think it would have changed anything with this illegal invasion? I think it would have shamed him. You know? I think it would have shamed him. And it's interesting because our friend that I told you about a second ago, Jason Jones, said that he was saying Alejandro Mayorkas should be impeached for like 2 years. And then after the 2-year mark, he switched about 3 months ago when he came on. He said, you know what? It's too late now. Now it's a stunt. So now it's pathetic. It doesn't mean anything now. Now it's a joke. Do you think it would have changed anything if he would have been impeached with this illegal invasion? Are Republicans winning the fight on this invasion were they winning it by trying to impeach Mayorkas and refusing to pass this border deal? What do you think? Would you have voted to impeach Alejandro Mayorkas tonight? 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. He, of course, was not impeached after all, but I promised to share about what Dr. Phil said as he was on the border as well. And here's what Dr. Phil. Did you ever hear that? Did you ever hear that Sesame Street? It was like Dr. Phil and Dr. Phil. See if I can pull it up on the fly. Because it was so funny. It really was. It was like the Muppet doctor said he's Dr. Phil. And the other one said, I'm Dr. Phil. It was like Phil, F-E-E-L, because the accent. It was very funny. I'll see if I can find that for you. But anyway, Dr. Phil, who's moving his television empire to North Texas, he'll be under, not Daystar, I can't remember the other network, Trinity Broadcast Network, I think. He's going to be broadcasting in their facilities. And unfortunately, I'm troubled by this. His next person he brought in was Nancy Grace with her sneering face, you know what I mean? She just annoys the heck out of me. Oh, I used to like her early on, but then she's got all nasty and nasally and sneering, and I'm like, oh, woman, you're still here. Anyway, 6 million people, Dr. Phil says. That number is a myth. It's closer to 13 to 14 million that have come across, he told Sean Hannity last night when he was on the Hannity show. I asked them straight up, what is it you still need here? What do you need here to the Border Patrol? And he says, I was shocked to hear them say, we don't need more money. We don't need more resources. We need resources. We don't need more officers. We don't need more legislation. We just need laws that are on the books to be followed. We need to be allowed to do our job, and we can get this under control right now. But Joe will not let them. He wanted to use this to make Republicans look bad. I do not think he's blowing smoke up anybody's rump. I think when he blamed us today and tonight for not passing the border thing, I believe that, and now it's MAGA, and people like you and me that'll vote for Trump. I believe the American people know it's his fault. They've known it since day one. They've railed against him, and the polling has shown obscene disapproval of Joe Biden with this illegal invasion of his. And I don't think that's going to change because of some vote on a bill that wouldn't have done anything. I just don't think people are that stupid to say MAGA. You never know. We're going to see how this plays out. The media will pull all the weight for Joe on this, but it doesn't mean it's going to break through because Americans don't trust the media, and they know the media is in the pocket of Joe Biden. They do not want Orange Man to win. And also Dr. Phil said China, the Middle East, and Russia, it's incredibly narcissistic to think these people are coming across our southern border just because they're in the neighborhood. They're coming here with an agenda. You're darn right. For example, the Chinese illegals that have come in, it was about 1,100 in 2010. 1,100. So you're looking at about, 80 a month maybe? Okay. That's about 2 per day, 2 or 3 per day. And then from 2022, it was from 2010 to 2020, 10 years straight, there was only 1,100 illegals from China in 10 years. And then all of a sudden it's 33,000. 33,000 in the first 11 months of 2023. What the what? Dang, yo. Dr. Phil says, are they spying? Are they sending seeds back from farming to China? Are they getting plans in the industries they're working in? I think all of the above. So, would you have voted to impeach Alejandro Mayorkas? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. All right, we're going to talk to Ernie in Dallas, and we've got some other folks. Oh, Ernest. Okay, thank you. That was quick. We'll take Ernest's call. You want me to wait until we get back here on Ernest? Yeah, we'll wait till Ernest will take you out of the box, brother. Stand by. We'll talk to you. And, of course, your call at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Would you have voted to impeach Mayorkas tonight, even though he just missed it by a few? And do you think it would change anything with this illegal invasion? And are Republicans winning the fight on this invasion by impeaching him, even though we didn't get the vote and refusing to pass the border deal that's been negotiated? Interesting to see what you think on that. 800-288-9227 is our number, 800-288-WBAP. I also will be telling you about What very interesting. There's a contingency planning. What's Joe Biden's contingency planning for this bill if it doesn't pass? His answer will not impress you. I guarantee you that. That's coming up next on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
Hi, and welcome to the Dr. Phil Show.
I'm sorry, who are you?
I'm Dr. Phil. Who are you?
Well, I'm Dr. Phil. This is my show.
I'm sorry, Dr. Phil? What'd you say?
I said this is my show, the Dr. Phil Show.
Oh, there it is.
It sounds like insanity is behind it because it really is offensive when you see police officers in New York City being beaten by illegal immigrants in this country who should not be in the country in the first place. And then after they engage in this crime against a law enforcement officer, they are let loose back out onto the streets. What's going on in New York is outrageous.
Amen. What about this impeachment vote that didn't pass muster tonight? We lost by about 2 votes, actually, funny enough. Although they say they might redo it because Steve Scalise is undergoing, cancer treatment right now. That poor man, he was shot, almost died, and he's undergoing cancer treatment again. He'll vote. Most likely, he will definitely vote to impeach, and that would switch it. And then I think there's one more. There's a special election coming up for New York, in New York State, and that one also may get a Republican that would vote for an impeachment, and then they'd have it. So interesting, huh? So they may do that again. Would you have voted tonight to impeach? I know he lost by 2, so he didn't get impeached. But would you have voted for that? By the way, when asked on a contingency plan since the border deal collapse, it looked like it's on life support. The lame, bad border deal. There's no contingency plan. Joe Biden said, I'm not going to concede that right now. There's no plan B. This is all we have. That sounds like you, Joe. No plan B. Never is, never. You fall down on the stage. No plan B. Okay, we got 3 lines open. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. Would you have voted to impeach Alejandro Mayorkas tonight? And do you think it would change anything if, with this illegal invasion, if he was impeached? And are Republicans winning this fight on the invasion by impeaching Mayorkas, even though it didn't pass tonight, and also refusing to pass this quote-unquote border deal that's been negotiated? Let's go to Ernest, who's called in at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Chime in right now. Ernest in Dallas, you're on WBAP. Hello.
Hello. Good evening, Chris. I'm deeply distressed that the Republicans didn't stick together and impeach the rat bastard. But I think that what we need
I love
to do,
that saying.
what we need to do here in Texas is contact our congressman. And we got one here. We should remind him that he's running for re-election and trying to switch to the Senate, that he represents the party that is for open borders, drug trafficking, sex trafficking.
That's Colin Allred. Yeah, he voted with Joe Biden 110% of the time. Apparently, I was reading today, you won't find any picture, any ads with him next to Joe. He doesn't want to be affiliated with Joe. He wants you to think he didn't vote to impeach Trump, which he did. He wants you to think that he didn't support amnesty, all that stuff. Everything Joe wants, he does. Joe tells him to bark like a dog, he barks. How you want like a big dog or a little dog? He does it. Yeah.
There you go. So we need to let him know. Everybody should put on social media that that's what he represents.
Yeah.
The beatings of cops, drug trafficking, all the fentanyl deaths, the open borders, and
I agree.
Come on.
Yeah, he ain't saying nothing about this massive invasion that Joe Biden and Colin Allred, the Democrat. I didn't hear him say nothing about it, and he won't. Appreciate your call. Don in Colorado, you're on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
Hey, good evening, and congrats of returning to FM as well.
Thank you.
I do want to say that, yes, I would have voted to impeach the man, but even if you removed the man, the trouble is you're going to replace him with somebody else who just agrees with him.
I would have voted to impeach myself because, and I should have been more clear earlier, but I would have voted to impeach myself.
I'm agreeing with you.
No. I know you are. But I'm just saying I would have voted to impeach myself. The reason why is because I know he'd be replaced by the same thing, but it would be a stain and a mark, and the next person would be much less likely to want to take the job because they're going to be nailed again, too. Go ahead, sir.
Good point. The scarlet letter always helps.
Absolutely. Put a stamp of...
but there's no scarlet letter for him and no scarlet letter for Biden. Biden's proven to be a slippery seal. And the funny thing is, back in the day when they were looking for the Michael Dukakis and the Clintons or whatever, your media actually wanted to put him out of the way. But Biden, being the persistent man that he is, eventually got the job that he seeked, and the media at large has no choice but to stand by the monsters they've helped create.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. What do you mean your media? You mean all of our media or what?
I mean the legacy media. I mean not you, but I'm.
You're saying the country's legacy media.
Correct.
Right.
But much of the media globally kind of tends to be Lagauche.
Oh, they
tends to be Lagauche.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, listen, I appreciate your call tonight, Don.
Have a good evening.
You too, brother. A great call. Okay, so I wanted to get into this one because this is huge, actually, to me. This would have been the biggest story of the day if we didn't have the other 2 or 3 big stories we already just talked about. Listen to this. Erath County, North Texas, right? That's where we lost our dear friend and warrior Chris Kyle in Erath County at a gun range, outdoor gun range. Erath County employee fired for refusing to speak the English when she works at the tax assessor's office in Erath County, okay? And she speaks Spanish, and there's one other employee there that speaks Spanish. And now look, they have them speak. They're like, please, yes, speak Spanish when it comes to clients, customers. You know what I mean? Taxpayers. When they come to file, or they have a question about a tax assessor's office, renewing their plates or whatever, all sorts of stuff. They said, speak Spanish if customers. But they're speaking amongst themselves while they're not working with customers speaking Spanish. Now, when you're talking Spanish and everybody else around you only speaks English, is that not rude? Is that not inappropriate to do at a workplace environment where you're there together 40 hours a week? Is that okay with you? Well, Erath County supervisor told her, you're not allowed to do that. We've warned you. Now, here's a document. Sign it saying that I understand I've been warned that I will not speak Spanish unless it's a customer. Otherwise, I will be terminated. So she refused to sign it or something of that nature. Channel 8 did the story today. I've got lots of good audio for you. I'll be playing for you coming up next. But here's the thing. It is rude, and she should know this. She's playing the victim. She's all, I had to move 300 some odd miles because I couldn't get a job after that. And, the trauma of getting fired and all this stuff. You refused to honor a reasonable request of your employer. Now, I don't know what the law states, but I know this. You are dang rude if you refuse to honor your employer who says, stop speaking Spanish among your employee in front of everybody else unless it's with a client. I don't see why that's bad. I don't see what the problem is. To me, she comes off as a punk. You're going to hear her talking and playing the victim and her attorney saying, she's wrong. We're suing. I want to know what you think about this. Do you think it's unreasonable to tell your employees, whether they're at the tax assessor's office or you're, at a restaurant or at a cubicle, do you think it's wrong to tell your employees or unreasonable to speak English only unless your customer speaks Spanish? Would you want to fire an employee who refuses to comply with that order? Which I think is very reasonable. It's not a difficult order here. It's not an unreasonable thing. And is it rude to talk in a foreign language at your job when you don't have to? As I believe. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. You really don't want to miss this audio, and I want to hear from you right now at 800-288-9227. Chime in. Okay. Where were we? This lady who worked past tense at the Erath County tax assessor's office. She speaks Spanish and English, which is great, and she worked there. And whenever a customer comes up that doesn't speak English but speaks Spanish, she does that, and that's great. That's part of her job. Okay. There's another Spanish-speaking employee there. This is all in a report I only saw today on WFA TV Channel 8. And it says Erath County lawsuit filed over alleged no Spanish office policy. And here's the woman. Basically, what happened was they said, ma'am, because she and the other Spanish-speaking lady there, they both were speaking Spanish when nobody was around, no customers were around that spoke Spanish. It was like, why are you speaking in Spanish? This is a tax assessor's office. We are an English government, an English county, an English state, an English country. And it is rude. My gosh, you guys. You know what I mean? Who is this woman's mama? Didn't her mama raise her right? You know what I'm saying? Hey, what are you doing talking Spanish? We're in America. Unless you're sitting here talking to me at home or something like that, if you're at your job, do what your boss tells you. What is this crap? Now she's a victim. She's suing. Here's the audio from this on WFAA TV Channel 8 today. Here is the woman.
And I will not give up. And it's something that I'm going to continue to fight, for as long as I can. He handed me that letter, and I kind of read over it, and it said that English was only to be spoken in the office unless I was helping a customer. And I asked her, I said, so what happens if I don't sign this letter? Because at the bottom of the letter, it states, if you do not sign it, you will be terminated.
She says, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep fighting. So is this your attitude at your job? You're always going to fight your boss and always, be nasty? I want to fight. Now she claims, according to her attorney, and he's filed a lawsuit, and he claims that she had to move 300 and some odd miles. She couldn't find comparable work. Do you believe that crap? I don't believe that crap. You're in the Erath County. I don't know how far the drive was to DFW, but dude, there's a massive, there's about, 8 million people over here. Couple counties over, you can kind of come over here for work. You didn't have to move 3 hours away. Don't pull that crap. I think it was rude for her to not speak English when she didn't have to speak Spanish. I think it's her coworker and her were being rude, and I think it was wrong. I think that termination is absolutely on the table. If she refuses to comply and she wants to fight, then get out of here. I would have fired her too. Now I don't know what the law is, but her attorney says I'm going to sue.
She lost her emotional stability because, to get fired or put in a position to sign this or be fired is very emotionally draining and mentally exhausting.
I mean, really? Come on. Emotionally draining? How many times have you been fired? I've been fired. I was fired at least twice in this business, which is actually shockingly low considering I've been in it for 28 years now since I graduated college in 95. I mean, dude, Limbaugh got fired like 8 times before he hit it big. So stop whining is exactly right. All right, what do you say, y'all? Do you think it's unreasonable to tell your employees to speak English only unless your customer speaks Spanish? And would you want to fire an employee who refuses to comply with that reasonable order? And is it rude to talk in a foreign language at your job when you don't have to? I sure think it is. What do you think? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Chime in right now, 800-288-WBAP. That's 800-288-9227. Charles and Denton, you're on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM 93.3. Make it a preset.
Yeah, how you doing? Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome, Charles.
Yeah, I'm just saying right now that I think she should be fired, and I'm really getting kind of tired of this. We're an English-speaking country. How are we going to have one country where we're speaking multiple different languages?
I agree.
And now we got people that have been in this country through 30 years, never learned English, and they're voting, too. U.S. citizenship.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is absolutely disgusting. And I just want to say, in the state of Colorado, it's in the state constitution that the state that English is the official language. And they need to do the same thing in Texas. We need to start passing legislation. And if I had a business, I'm telling you, I'm only speaking English, and I'm only serving people in English. And if you don't come in my business.
Now, wait a minute. I'm going to say something, though. There's a few things. I'm sure that you have friends that are from Hispanic countries that speak Spanish well, have somewhat of an accent, but speak English well as well, right?
Yeah, that's fine. Actually, I love Spanish. My whole life, people come up to me trying to speak Spanish. I'm telling you right now, I'm not speaking Spanish. It's my own country.
How dare you?
I speak English.
I'm just kidding.
And I'm not learning. I mean, I learned it in school and stuff like that, but I'm not speaking Spanish in my own country.
So you agree this woman should have been fired, as I do, because you don't have to speak. You should not speak Spanish between your coworkers when at work, because that's rude, and it's grounds for termination. You agree, especially if you're going to say no.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I totally agree.
And that's the terms into the employment that this is an English speaking place. This is what you got to learn to speak English. You got to speak English here.
This is embarrassing. This woman to actually get this woman's acting a fool, acting like a clown. To actually get on television, claim you're a victim, and whine, and have some guy say you're emotional, this or that, because you got fired. Take a freaking number. Get out of here. In this economy, in this DFW economy, you say you can't get a job, you got to move 300 miles. This is a load of horse pucky. Appreciate your call, man.
No, they just want to be catered to. That's it.
Well, at least this woman does. Professional victim. Hard pass. I think this woman was a problem employee and was a pain in the butt to begin with, and I think this is a perfect reason to get rid of her if she refuses to. I mean, just answer me this. Isn't it rude for somebody to talk in a foreign language at work when your job is supposed to be in English, except when you have Spanish-speaking customers, which does happen. I got no problem if somebody only speaks Spanish or speaks Spanish primarily. You know why? I got over it a long time ago. You know why? First of all, I speak Spanish well, and it's a beautiful language and everything like that. I love it. I love speaking it. I love making Spanish speakers happy when I speak it well and impressing them. It makes me feel good about myself, and I know it makes them feel good. I love that. But there's a time and place. And when you're at your job and you're not supposed to be doing it unless you're talking to a customer in Spanish, then it's rude. Second of all, I've also realized something else. Have compassion. I still think this woman should have been fired. I think she's a pain in the butt. I'm just saying have compassion, because sometimes we get impatient or whatever, but it's like you have no idea. Some people, we are a border state, so I understand there's people that we know and love that speak Spanish really freaking well, better than English, and that's okay. But when you're at your job, you don't speak Spanish unless you have a customer to speak Spanish too. This was a firing offense, and I'm glad she did. And I think she's a pain in the butt, and she's got a problem to begin with. Laura in Coppell, you're on News Talk 820 WBAP.
Hey, Chris.
Hey.
Good to holler at you.
Yeah, thanks.
I was working at a Lutheran school, and I was one of the teachers, and I had some other teachers that spoke Spanish, and I don't mind you speaking Spanish. Now, I do mind if you're going to talk ugly about me to my face when I'm standing in the room.
How do you know if they're talking ugly about you to your face when you don't speak Spanish, unless you speak Spanish well?
Because I know Spanish. I refuse to speak it because I'm in the USA. And so I went off on them, and I told them, I said, I don't mind you speaking Spanish, but when you start calling me ugly names, I'm on your ass.
I like
they
that.
Didn't realize that I knew Spanish, but that's the way I handle my Spanish-speaking people. I don't mind you speaking Spanish.
Of course not.
But when you so boldly in the same room with me want to talk ugly to me in your language, that's when I corner you up.
You know, sometimes it's fun to just listen in a little bit and catch some stuff. And I mean,
I do that too.
Yeah, and then we hear something that you can jump in a little bit and you say, but like, you know, you kind of surprise them a little bit, and then I go, oh crap, they're understanding what I'm saying. But you know,
I shocked them. Because I was all over their behind.
So you're with me. Fire this lady.
Oh, she needed to be fired.
Yeah.
There needs to be a perspective. When you come to the United States, we give you a bunch of liberties, a bunch. And when you think that you're so better than the people that's been living here and paying taxes all these years, when you come from Mexico, I don't care where you come from.
Yeah, whatever.
You don't get to step all
you got to tell them, this is America. We speak American.
Yeah. And then they don't even speak. And then to top it all off, they don't even speak good English.
Exactly.
They use that slang mess.
Appreciate your call, Laura.
Them.
Thank you. You got to tell them this is America. We speak American around here, right? Or maybe you say, dude, do you English, bro? All right. Hey, coming up next, we have a cool guest. You've heard of Newsbusters, I'm sure, right? In the Media Research Center, a great conservative outlet. We're going to talk to the executive editor of Newsbusters at the Media Research Center about Joe Biden, again, refusing, this doddering old fool, who talks to dead people that have been dead for 28 years, like French President Francois Mitterrand, who died in 1996. He swore he met with him last year. I've got the audio. That'll be fun. But maybe that's why he doesn't want to do an interview with, even a softball interview with the Obama donor, Obama acolyte, Gayle King, Oprah's apprentice, if you will. We'll talk to the executive editor of Newsbusters at the Media Research Center coming up next about Biden ducking as many interviews as he can. And I wondered, has he ever done anything with Fox News, or is he just afraid? We'll get to all that coming up next on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Remember, this is America. Speak American. News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. Joe Biden is once again, second year in a row, skipping the interview with whoever it is doing the interviews with the Super Bowl. I believe it's Gayle King this year, and obviously she would just laugh with him and, butter him up and everything. It wouldn't be anything serious, but he still bows out of it. Maybe he's afraid because there are millions and millions and millions and millions of viewers for the Super Bowl. Maybe it's because of this. In fact, let's pop on my guest, Tim Graham, who is executive editor of Newsbusters at the Media Research Center. Tim, how are you, sir? Thanks for joining us on the Chris Crock Show tonight.
Hey, hello.
Hello. Hey, let's have a little fun here. Let's hear the president on his great meeting right after he got elected with Francois Mitterrand, who died in 1996. Let's hear about that real fast. Ready?
People have pled guilty. Right after I was elected, I went to what they call a G7 meeting, all the NATO leaders. And it was in the south of England. And I sat down and I said, "America's back." And Mitterrand from France looked at me and said, why, how long are you back for? And I looked at him, and the Chancellor of Germany said, "What would you say, Mr. President, if you picked up the paper tomorrow in the London Times, and the London Times said..."
Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, Francois Mitterrand died in 1996, and yet he was just elected a couple of years ago, and he's telling us, about 2.5, 3 years ago, telling us that he met with him. Would you like to hear, did you catch the KJP response from Peter Doocy on this afternoon? You want to hear that one first before we talk? You want to hear? Okay, let's play that one real fast together, and we're going to talk.
How is President Biden ever going to convince the 3/4 of voters who are worried about his physical and mental health that he is okay, even though in Las Vegas he told a story about recently talking to a French president who died in 1996?
I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole with you, sir.
What is
We're
the
going to
rabbit
go.
hole?
Go ahead.
He said
go ahead.
he talked to Mitterrand.
Go ahead. You saw the president in Vegas, in California. You've seen the president in South Carolina. You saw him in Michigan. I'll just leave it there. Go ahead.
What the heck, dude? Right? What the heck is going on over here?
This is called There's No Good Answer. So I'm going to pretend I'm not going down that rabbit hole with you. It's kind of funny.
It is.
Because this is the problem that you have. Be the press secretary for the man who 75 or 7% of Americans think can't do the job anymore.
Right.
And try to stick up for him. I think we should remember, despite the fact that Joe Biden sounds like an old grandpa telling these old stories about how Mitterrand to Germany, no, I mean France. And then the guy from Germany said, and everybody's waiting like, okay, grandpa,
yes,
that's the end of the story.
Did you see everybody in the back behind him? They're like, what is it? Let me just ask you. I know you don't know, and I don't know either, perhaps, but what is it like to want this man, to support this man, or maybe you were dragged to this stupid thing and you watch him and you're there? I mean, they all have to be going, oh, please. Oh, just come on, dude. You can do it. You can do it. And then, when he finally says something, that they have a chuckle, a nervous chuckle in there. I mean, what is it like to be in that room?
Yeah, that they laughed so aggressively, like, okay, we made it. We all made it. Remember, the Democrats, these are the same people that when Ronald Reagan got elected at the age of 69 said, oh, he's senile, he's over the hill.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's in his 80s, and clearly, this happens over and over again. Catch this, you miss this train, you'll catch another. He couldn't come up with the name of Hamas.
Yes.
The opposition over there, the Hamas, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he was saying that he wasn't for abortion on demand. He was for it in all 3 trimesters. I mean,
wow. Extreme late term abortion, afterbirth abortion. I mean, my gosh, is there any limit? Tim Graham, executive editor of Newsbusters at the Media Research Center. Okay, so my question is with this whole thing. I mean, why do you think he's avoiding? Has he ever been on Fox News that you're aware of ever?
Well, certainly not as president, and I'm going to guess probably not as vice president.
My gosh.
Here's the interesting part. And I forgot this. I know that Barack Obama did a Super Bowl interview with Bill O'Reilly.
Yes.
Turns out he did 2.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. I mean, this shows you the difference. And, of course, Donald Trump did Super Bowl interviews with hostile networks.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a hand in the interview, too. But, I mean, this is really a tradition that Obama started. Now, I know Jim Nance talked to George W. Bush in 2004, but it was very brief, and it was really just about the game.
Mm-hmm.
Obama's the guy that really got this tradition started, and Biden's the guy that wants to end it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. What is he afraid of? Why do you think he doesn't want to do an interview with Gayle King? All she's going to do is kiss his butt.
Right. Well, remember, now last year, when it was Fox's turn, Fox was like, okay, well, let's do this for you, Mr. President. We have a new network called Fox Soul for the African Americans. We are proposing for you an interview with the actress Vivica A. Fox, who voted for you. And they were like, nope.
What the heck?
Yeah, that's Gayle King all over again. Now, I don't think CBS said anything in particular, but yes, Gayle King did interview President Obama, and of course, Gayle King vacations with Obama.
Mm-hmm.
She was she and Oprah were in the White House the night of the Obama inauguration.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't get any closer than that.
Yeah. Well, okay, so you're chalking it up that he's afraid. Is that pretty much it, you think, Tim?
Well, this is one of those things where I gotta say, it's not up to Joe. It's the brain trust around Joe that's like, no.
Because they know, right?
Well, it's the same way that that Biden comes out to the press corps and says, they told me I couldn't call on you. Why is that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get in trouble.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, well, who's president, man?
Tim Graham, Executive Director of Newsbusters at the Media Research Center. This was fun. I want to have you on again, sir, okay?
Okay, you got it.
Thank you, brother, man. Have a good night. Appreciate you. We're going to keep our eyes out for you at Newsbusters and the Media Research Center. We appreciate the good work you guys do.
Thanks,
brother. All right, that was fun. I like that guy. Cool guy. All right, coming up next, we're going to get into Amazon bowed to the White House to pressure to conceal COVID books that told the truth that the White House didn't want us to know about. Instead of burning books, they're burying them from us. What the heck? That's next.